What's up, everybody? As you can see, it's just me, Dominic DeAngelo of WrestleZone.com, without my degenerate brother Marcus, because we are having some audio issues. And I am actually switching this to here because we're gonna try to get Marcus on here, but we're having audio issues. Hopefully, you can hear me okay. If you join the chat, let me know how the feedback sounds because Marcus said I was having weird feedback on here. So I don't know if it's a StreamYard issue, how we're streaming it tonight, or what exactly is going on. So if I sound okay, let me know. Marcus is going to try to join in a couple seconds. In a minute, he's going to restart his computer and see what happens. Otherwise, I might fly solo tonight. Nesha, do I sound okay too? Thanks for joining, by the way. Do I sound okay, like clear and everything like that, or does it sound scratchy? Marcus said I had some weird feedback. What's up, Steven? Okay, no issues on that end. Hopefully, Marcus, I told him to restart his computer. He's going to try joining in. We had him here for a second, but just no audio was going on. So hopefully we can get him back. Okay, cool. So I'm sounding all right. Well, thanks for joining me. As you can see, we are live, and live stuff, crazy stuff happens when we're live. And dang it, I'm hoping Marcus will be able to join us. I have a new frame I want to show everybody that I worked on, and Marcus is fucking it up, okay? I'm blaming him. But we had quite the week. I mean, in AEW, did we not? With Rampage, holy smokes. I want to wait for Marcus till we kick that off. But, I'm hiding my head. Hold on a sec. Let me back up a little bit here. Marcus is back. Let's see if this works. This is going to be the tell-all if he joins us. If he joins us or not. Marcus.
Hello.
No, you son of a bitch. Wave hi to people because they might not say hello. Oh, no. So I don't know what the heck's going on here. Marcus's mic says it's working on this end. Marcus, try talking again. I don't know.
Hello. Anyone?
I don't know what's going on. This is a you problem, not a me problem. I think.
It was fine.
I don't know what's
in my
going
meeting.
on. Marcus, we can't hear you. It's like you're Stallone in Copland where he's deaf with the shotgun. He's like, I can't hear you, Ray. That's you right now.
Nesha, hears me?
I can't hear you. I don't know what you're saying. I cannot read lips.
Nesha, do you hear me?
Oh, no, they hear you. Oh, okay. Well, I can't. Why can't I hear you? Hold on, Marcus. Okay. If you can hear him, Marcus, keep talking, and I will grab some headphones, and maybe that'll help. 1 second. Okay.
So, I'll tell you, Dominic, he's got to have like a fucked up computer or something. This is a flea market computer he's got over there at his apartment. Hey, everybody. Good to chat with you again, I guess. I don't know. I assume that everybody can hear me. Yes, Nesha can. Steven can. All right, cool. Works for me. Big week on Dynamite. I'll tell you what, this might have been the best episode of Rampage I have ever seen. And I'm not just talking about from a wrestling standpoint, which, by the way, the wrestling was good. But I think that what really put it over the top was the CM Punk and Eddie Kingston promo, which was unbelievable. Just incredible quality. CM Punk kind of took things to the next level. They had Dominic, can you hear me?
I got it. Wow, you want to hear the stupidest thing I've ever done?
Oh no, what'd you do?
I had the sound off this entire fucking time.
You are a fucking idiot. Just a classless buffoon.
Hey, whoa!
All right, we're in it. Dominic, I'm leading off with the hits here, pal.
Are you start saying? Hold on.
CM Punk.
New frame. Ooh,
CM Punk and especially Eddie Kingston in that promo. Mm-hmm. Holy smokes.
Gosh.
Hard to outdo CM Punk in a promo, but Eddie Kingston, you got to tip the cap there.
You think he outdid? So I thought it was a pretty, I wasn't weighing who did better. I was more just taking it all in, baby. That's what I was doing.
No, I weigh who I like more in every setting. No, really, they were both great, but Eddie Kingston was just like, he was on fire, man.
He was.
Yeah, and it gets you excited for the match. I don't know. I kind of want it. I know he's not going to, but I kind of want Eddie Kingston to go over.
You know what? Would that be a bad thing if Eddie beat him? I don't think it would.
I think it's too soon. Too soon.
I guess it would. Now that I think about it.
That being said, they probably shouldn't have put those two together at this stage. I think that Eddie Kingston should have been the first one to unseat CM Junk.
Well, maybe you're right to that moment. Man, I can't believe I fucking muted myself.
I can honestly believe that you did that.
I guess I can too. But I think this is an appropriate time to do it because I don't think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week it was, that I think they can. We're going to see them be friends ultimately. Like Eddie Kingston. I mean, if you heard that during the promo, people were chanting Eddie's name during that segment. So I mean, I don't think Eddie's going to be a heel. Like, he might play the heel role against Punk at Full Gear, but like ultimately this will be like a friendship that gets formed, and almost like what we were getting with the Mox and Eddie, where it's he's like how Eddie's our friend, like he'll be CM Punk's friend.
Hey, I'm with Stephen King. Why not extend the feud?
Stephen King?
I'm sorry, Stephen Chambers, for crying out loud.
Are
Eddie
you the master of horror, Stephen Chambers?
Eddie Kingston, Stephen Chambers. I'm all fucked. Could always be worse, Dominic. I could have had my sound muted. But in any case, yeah, you know me. I'm all about, hey, let's have an extended feud. Let's have an 8-month program. Like Jeff Jarrett was recently talking about. I just like saw a clip of him where he was talking about Scott Hall. He was like, I've probably wrestled Scott Hall 1,000 times. And it just it's because like they were locked in a feud from like 94 to 95 there, for working house shows, probably working fucking 5 times a week. It's like you really get to know somebody. And by the way, that's how you develop some serious chemistry with somebody in the ring. Right. So like, I love the idea of them constantly working together. Nesh is calling it. Eddie, friend of the show. Kevin Davis, how you doing, man?
Yeah.
Good day today. And yeah, we're still remaining safe, vaccinated.
Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah.
Kevin, you flatter us.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
he's leaving. He's fucking out. All right.
He's out of here. He
just comes in. Does a quick run in from Kevin. Hope you guys are safe.
Later on.
It's good for you though, Kevin. Yeah. I like it.
With Eddie and that is how you build stuff together. But I mean, like, just them cutting promos on one another, like 2 masters of the mic, man. And then like there's chemistry already there. Like that match, I think that's the match I'm most excited for Full Gear. How about you? Where are you laying at? Well, I don't know, man. That's a little tough now I think about it, but oh man. I
am now.
Yeah.
As like before it was just like, oh, okay, cool. Eddie Kingston, CM Punk, it should have good chemistry. Punk's gonna go over. Like, you knew all that, but now it's like they've given us another layer here. And it's like, all right, I'm more in it. We got a little bit of like, why is, it's not just all of a sudden Eddie Kingston hates CM Punk.
Yeah, there's a reason.
Right. Now he's given us a reason, and a relatable reason. And all of a sudden, it's the whole like, nobody wants you here. Nobody in the back wanted you in the first place. Like stuff like that. I was like, man, that's good stuff.
And you know what? Like, you can sympathize with Eddie or empathize with him, because you put yourself in that position where like, okay, like this guy became such a big star, this CM Punk, and here I was trying to look up to him and maybe prove myself, and they just wouldn't let me in their inner circle or their group, or like I was being judged and stuff like that, and maybe they had but it's all from your perception of how you're viewing the whole situation. So like, then you look about it and you're in this, you have your shot. This is your big shot at getting the world title, like being in this tournament, everything like that. You're going up against a stiff competitor like Bryan Danielson, who was part of that circle too. And boom, you lose, you pass out and you lose. And you're just irate after the match. And who do you see? Who's one of the first people you see cutting a promo backstage, like grinning? Is CM Punk, some guy that was judging you earlier. Like way back when you were trying to prove yourself, and you already have a temper, so you're just fucking pissed, and you just go and lay into him. So it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense from a story standpoint, and like it adds to the stakes and adds to like what we're gonna be excited about when Full Gear starts kicking off. So.
Steven Chambers is making some good points here. Dominic, not to detract from that conversation, but what are you saying here makes sense.
Miro and Danielson, though, or is that what you're going to talk about?
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about that in a second. Any more points though on Punk and
Yeah, I mean, I think that, in a nutshell, what you're saying is right. Like they give the backstory, and it makes sense. It's a there's logic, and then there's wrestling logic. Well, this one is both. So the fact that that they do have a history together, that CM Punk got to go out and he's getting all the T-shirts and action figures, and Eddie Kingston still just doing. He's like keeping it real on the indie scene, and like probably making shit money sometimes, and no action figures. Probably sitting at his own merch table, that sort of deal, while CM Punk is out like living the high life. It's like, yeah, it would build animosity, right?
Yeah.
So I think that makes sense, but it also makes sense from like the aspect of like, all right, the new cool kid shows up at school, and now you get an opportunity to interact with them. Maybe you're not getting the amount of attention that you want or feel that you deserve, and you're like, nobody likes this guy just because you don't like him.
Yeah, it's all that impression because you can see everybody likes Punk, like
right
in AEW. Right. So it's just like that's your own distorted impression. Like, oh man, fuck this guy, and everybody else feels that way too.
Yeah, nobody wants him here.
Yeah.
That should dig in the background logo. Yeah, that's cool. It does. It is nice, Dom. Did a nice job there.
I changed the color scheme up a little bit.
You're like the yin and yang for yourself. You do something cool like that, then you fucking leave your computer muted.
Myself in the foot.
Yeah.
like Plexico Burst. I go to a fucking nightclub in New York City and with a gun in my pocket, boom.
In your sweatpants.
In my sweatpants.
All right, let's hammer on, Dom. You're the host. By the way, we gotta keep this one brief, motherfucker. I'm talking like 9:30. I need a hard stop.
Damn, you need a hard stop at 9:30.
I got some damn work to do.
All right, well, I mean, wrestling's on, so we're cutting into Nesh's Raw time.
Oh gee, Dominic. We never don't do the show when there's like some event going on.
Like
right?
It's always there's something else pretty decent big.
It could be 3 a.m. on a Thursday, and we're like interrupting something.
We're interrupting like Wrestle Kingdom, like 14 or 15 or whatever. Right. 17, I think they're at. Okay, let's talk about what Steven Chambers said here. Marcus, read this.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So he's saying Miro versus Danielson. I believe if Miro wins, Hangman wins. If Danielson wins, Omega retains. Leaning toward Miro, Danielson can take a loss. So his logic there, and it's the same logic that I apply all the time in wrestling. And honestly, the logic that should be applied in all wrestling, used to be constantly applied in wrestling and is not so much anymore, is you need baby faces and heels constantly working toward one another. And so the point that he's trying to make here is that if Miro wins, then Hangman's going to win, so that Hangman then has a feud with Miro, right?
Sure.
If Danielson wins, then Omega is going to retain, so that a babyface Danielson then has a feud with Omega, which also makes sense. Either scenario is a good scenario to me. Now, the scenario that I don't want is Danielson wins and Hangman wins, because it's like, okay, that's a cool match. You've got Danielson and Hangman. Oh, that's neat. Like, yeah, that's fun. But you got two baby faces. Now you're making the audience choose. You want strong opinions from your audience. The way I see it, you want strong opinions one way or the other. Like, I want Hangman Page to beat the shit out of Miro. Or like, I want Danielson to finally unseat Kenny Omega. Not like, oh man, Hangman just got this, but I love Bryan Danielson. I don't want to see that.
Well, I kind of disagree with you on that, because I don't think there should be any situation in which Hangman loses this match against Kenny Omega. It shouldn't, because could you imagine the momentum that gets lost?
It wouldn't be good.
It's not good for Hangman to lose.
He's not going to lose. Hangman's going to win, and I think that Miro's should win.
Now, how would you book that though, Miro versus Danielson? Like, would you do something?
Well, Miro has to cheat, of course.
Yeah, I would think you have to do something underhanded.
Has to cheat. And yeah, it might even be like, I don't know what the rules are. I'm not crazy about DQs, but you can kind of keep Danielson his shirt clean in that way.
But now, would it necessarily be a bad thing though if Danielson beats Miro, and then he does face Hangman, but then Hangman gets a win off of Danielson to further establish him as a real top guy? Is that a bad thing?
I mean, I guess it's fine. I don't know. To me, I guess I'm just like a very old school dude. And holy shit, Steven Chambers on fire. Dominic, Lana
there you go.
Debuts, helps Miro get the big dub.
He's talking too, like all the references to his wife and everything like that.
And that's an old school wrestling thing too, by the way. So like that's why that scratches the itch for me. Is like, yeah, it's Miro can win, and it's because like his wife shows up and creates a distraction. I'm good with that. So I don't know. I see your point, because maybe it's not a bad thing to make the audience choose, right? Like, oh man, it's going to be Danielson versus Hangman. I love both these guys. I got to see this match. I wonder who's going to win. It could sell pay-per-view. So I see that point, but it's just the old school wrestling fan of me where I'm just like, no, dude, I want a strong heel against a strong baby face in the main event. And like, the heel is getting the upper hand through devious means. I don't know. I'm a simple man to please when it comes to wrestling storylines.
Well, you are a simple man. I would say simpleton. So I think that's pretty good.
Dominic, do I have to bring up the mute thing again? Do I have to?
No, you don't have to do that. That's fine. Listen, I think, it's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out at Full Gear. Like, I really do think Hangman's going to win.
It's an exciting event, isn't it? There's some really good matches.
There's a lot. And like, I think we'll probably get to a preview episode. I'm sure we can probably do something on Saturday beforehand, so we can do a preview show. So we won't go into full gear with full gear.
Nesha gets it right now. Yeah, what? Dumbass. That's that's why she wound up in Facebook jail.
I'm like, you're like, it's like Red Foreman's telling me I'm a dumbass. And
you need to hear it.
So I'm curious, would you think that's what the route they're going to take with Mox too? Is he would have underhandedly beat Danielson, and then it would have been Hangman and he would have won the tournament.
Yep. I think so. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Mox here and what happened. Really cool, like of him to do, and really brave, and like Marcus, you're a new father. Like he just had a baby with Renee. I don't know if I was talking to you about this, but like him being able to have the sense to know that he's going through a struggle that's really bad, or that could be a mounting problem into the future. Like, and him having the wherewithal to be like, I have to stop right now because I love what I'm going to get into this family. I'm going to be moving. And especially too, at the height of like a big thing where in wrestling, people have these expectations of you to fulfill these duties and your bookings and your events and finish the storylines and tie them all together and everything like that. It was very brave of him to do and really cool to see. And he's like, I'm hoping that this sets a precedent too for a lot of things when situations like that come up. If somebody's going through a hard time like that and they need to shake themselves and be like, I have to take myself out of this equation to make myself better, and something that goes on with it personally in my life that's going to become an issue, or that already is an issue. And so,
and yeah, especially in wrestling where, it's kind of, I don't know that it's really the case anymore, but I know that for many, many years, the mentality, and I'm sure this is rubbed off on a lot of modern day guys, but the mentality is don't take yourself out of the game. If you're injured, fight through it because somebody's going to take your spot. That was always kind of like the thing. And so for Moxley, not only to make the leap and publicly say, hey, look, I'm struggling and I'm going to take care of this. Not only is that brave, but it's also brave of him to say like, hey, whatever, like the wrestling business is not as important as my health, but actually it's more like B, my health, and my child. Number one is my child, and making sure that I put them in the best possible position to succeed. So yeah, Steven is saying it, Nesh is saying it. He's brave, and kudos to him because it was brave. It took a lot of bravery to do that.
It does. It takes so much to
especially because his mentality and his character is like this infallible tough guy, right? And so he just let everybody see some vulnerability, and there's nothing wrong with that. No. Actually, it makes him look more like a tough guy, where it's a strong man, because he can say like, hey, look, I'm strong enough to admit that I'm having a problem, and strong enough to seek help for it.
Yeah, exactly. Marcus, to get personal, it was like what, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, me and you were in a summer play, and I had some issues where I had to leave. We were both casting this play. Do black patent leather shoes really flash up? Where is that the name of the show? Was that the name of the show?
Were you in that show?
I was casted in it, Marcus. I was ready to go. I went to the first few rehearsals, but then I reached a stuff with my OCD where I literally had to leave town. I had to leave town and I had to go. I wasn't in an inpatient program, but I was in an outpatient program. And I lived with my grandparents for the summer, and like literally had to take myself out of something that I was excited for and like was really pumped to be a part of. And just it's tough. Like from a small aspect of that, I couldn't even imagine having a kid and prioritizing all that, and then going from that. But so for Mox to experience that made me think about that, but also to what Punk said too with that promo before on Dynamite was really, you can tell he was pulling from his own personal aspects of like not allowing himself to take a break when he needed it for WWE and everything like that. And he was very like, you could tell he was very sentimental and heartfelt about that when it came to talking about Moxley and his situation too. So I just thought it was like refreshing, brave, and very profound for wrestling to do, where you look at the sides of WWE, like people can take breaks, but heck, it doesn't mean you're going to be sticking around. Like look at some of the releases that happened with like, I don't know if you know all the details about Nia Jax, but part of her thing was like she was on a mental break and she was supposed to get back like November or something. And but you know, push came to shove and she was released. So it's like that's the expectations that always came with wrestling. But to see it from this AEW perspective, for Mox to be so open about it, for Punk to embrace, you know, that situation and recall his own troubles with that, really admirable and very cool to see.
Absolutely. And Dom, I wish we had the info here, but you know, if anybody's struggling with addiction or whatever, yes, you know, there's help. So by all means, you know, seek it out and make the right choice, not just for yourself, but for the people in your life.
Exactly. And like, that's what was cool about what Punk said too. He addressed the audience and said that straight out to everybody. Like, I'm hoping that really helped people to be like, you know what, I am in a bad situation and I need to ask for help. Yep. Like, it was a really cool thing of him to do. So, yeah, I thought we should address that. I do want to read his book. I'm very fascinated to see how he wrote it and how it all, because I mean, if you listen to Mox in interviews, man, when he's talking to like Meltzer or anybody like that, he's hilarious. He's like just all over the place, but he's forthright and honest. And it's like so funny, but it's so like he's so good. So I'm really intrigued to grab a copy of that book too.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to read it too. Some of the excerpts seem really good, and that's just saying that she deals with depression. You have OCD. I have OCD to a degree, and yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with talking about it. So, by all means, mm-hmm. Everybody, I think everybody should.
You can always lean on people. You can always lean on people.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, Dom, what's up next?
Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so pretty much I went through the rundown. Well, let's do this. Let's talk about those releases, man. I almost forgot to put this on the card here for us, but it's like the big news of the week. And like Marcus, some very big names got released over the course of this weekend, right? In classic WWE fashion, they do it in the most shady fucking way possible, where they have their quarterly conference call. They talk about all the profits they're making, blah, 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 all this stuff. And then, hey, let's hang up. All right. Hey, let's make some cuts now. John Leonard and I get on the horn and start calling people. And, you know, lo and behold, we got like 18, I think it was 18 names that were cut. Starting off, one of my favorites, Karrion Kross and Scarlett, both released. Nia Jax, as I mentioned earlier.
Keith Lee
was released,
which is crazy. They were making him sound like he was going to be like a Brock Lesnar-esque figure.
Well, and they bring him back as Bearcat and all that stuff, and then they use the excuse that he had attitude issues and stuff like that, where it's just like, I don't think that's necessarily, you know, what the main reason was. Like, it's just like he had health problems too and everything. Okay, so here's the names, Marcus. Keith Lee, Frankie Monet, Taya Valkyrie, was such a notable figure in Impact, Ember Moon, Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux, Graham Metalik, Nia Jax, Harry Smith, who we'll talk about here in a second, Mia Yim, Eva Marie, Hit Rose B-Fab, which is just jaw-dropping, Oni Lorcan, and Lindsay Dorado. And then there was a lot of other like office people that were cut and let go that worked under Stephanie McMahon reportedly. And because they're doing like a big merge with Peacock kind of bullshit stuff. So it's like, dude, how can you work at that company like that and feel confident about your job situation?
I'd be nervous.
Yeah.
Here's the thing is like, they overextended themselves as far as like the amount of talent that they had on their roster. WWE did. I'm talking about NXT, all of it, main roster. They've got a lot of people on that roster.
Yeah.
And I think that they overextended themselves and put themselves in a situation.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, they're kind of cleaning house. I think that it's a good opportunity for these people. I'm sure that it does not feel like an opportunity, but I think it is one. The independent scene is really kind of starting to blow up. Matt Cardona has proven that. So the indie scene is absolutely blowing up. AEW is obviously a thing. Impact is still a thing. But I think that you need to view this as an opportunity.
You do, and like Marcus, you work for Ad Free Shows. Eric Bischoff said that on 83 Weeks this week, talking about how take a few days to reassess. Like just chill out, like let yourself cool down and regroup a little bit, and then take a self inventory, positive and negatives about yourself, and like just see what you can work on, what you can add that you're already good at, and what really needs to be improved about you. And like necessarily too, it's just like you cannot look at it in a fashion. If you're a talent, you can't look at it in a fashion too that you did anything wrong necessarily, because this is like a machine where it's cooking under Vince McMahon's pedal pushing. It's not.
It's like any other major company, man. Yes. Like there's going to be layoffs. If they're not making the amount that they want to or expect to, there will be layoffs, and it's kind of just how it happened. It's man, I never feel good about anybody losing their job. But,
no. Well, with Eva Marie, she went to do filming. They had this just kind of like a refocus of everything. And I just think she just wasn't part of the equation. What a weird, like they could have utilized her. They could have utilized all these talents, but they didn't. It's like, it's very unfortunate. Like
that's the thing is, not enough TV time for everybody. Stephen Chambers is kind of reiterating a point that you and I tend to make a lot, which is, it's what are they going to do if AEW grabs more people? What are you even going to do with all the people? You can't do anything, so they got to either create more programs, so like a Tuesday night program or whatever, or that's on television ideally, or don't sign all these people, or make roster cuts and then sign people. But I don't know. It's the other thing that Eric Bischoff said on the recent 83 Weeks was, he doesn't know that there's anybody ready to step up, but there's certainly the potential for another wrestling company, and you could really fill that roster with incredible talent.
Good. I mean, you look at the options too, like MLW, who always rotates talent in and out and has their mainstays, but there's like talent that come through and make an appearance and wrestle for a few stints, and then they go on their other way. And if it makes sense for them to stick around, they'll stick around. But it's I know that's the thing, is like somebody like a Matt Cardona has really proven, hey, you can make hay on the independent scene. You just have to be creative. You have to think outside of the box. And what Cardona has done with like Game Changer Wrestling, like it's
been incredible.
It's been remarkable. And it just shows he's so smart to the business and idea, and like the way he promotes himself. It's like, through the figure concept, and not only that, but just like leaning into being a sports entertainer and stuff like that.
One of the funniest things he did was he tweeted out during his feud with Effie. He was like, "Hey guys, I'm trying to find an Effie match, but I can't find it on the network." He's just hitting the next level, man.
That's so good.
Yep.
So Steven says, oh no, I'll click on that one next. Frankie Monet went on Twitter saying that her age is the reason why she's let go. She's 38. I had no idea she was 38. I thought she was like a little younger than me or like early 30s. But yeah, that is a reason. And that has been a reason for NXT in a lot of ways because they want nobody older than 26, which is such a dumb fucking rule. But they want,
you look at AJ Styles. How old was he when he came into WWE?
He was like 40, maybe 39.
Doesn't make any sense.
No, it makes zero sense. And like, you look at Steve Austin when he was in his prime, 36, Batista, 39, 40, when he started catching fire, you can, look at like, this is probably not a fair comp, but like Hulk Hogan was like, hey, how old was he when he was still at the top?
When he was Hollywood Hogan, he was like 45.
Right. He's our dad's age.
Yeah. So it's, the age thing is silly. It applies in regular sports, but it doesn't apply in other aspects of wrestling.
Yeah.
Or rather in pro wrestling. It doesn't apply.
DDP didn't start till he was 35.
Which is wild.
It's wild.
I'm 35. I can't imagine just saying like, you know what, I'm going to be a pro wrestler.
No, I'm going to give it a try. Yeah. So from that age standpoint, though, and like if you've seen Taya Valkyrie's work outside of WWE, she's awesome. Like she's such a good worker. She's made a lot of like her name in AAA as well. So I could see her going back to Impact. Wouldn't mind seeing her in AEW, but it always goes to the point: how are you going to fit all these people? And it's a tough thing to do. Like again, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to necessarily really cut people in AEW, but like again, like treat it like a volleyball game, a real big volleyball game where you rotate people in and out, and like be like, hey, we'll bring you back soon. Just stay on task, keep working at it. We'll bring you back.
Yep.
And it's just like, but we just don't have TV time at the moment. And we got to fit these things in and fit these stories in because Marcus, me, I would love to see Karrion/Killer Kross in AEW. Like 100%, I would love to see him. I think he like to see what his entrance was in NXT, the presentation of him and Scarlett together, and then the amount of work and extra stuff he does, the vignettes and everything like that he puts into himself. You can see him being like a viable star. And I know like part of the thing has been like, hey, who's going to be the leader of Dark Order? Like it's that's the ongoing joke. Somebody gets cut. Hey, they're the leader of the Dark Order. He'd be a real good leader of the Dark Order.
He would, or I think I'd prefer to see him as a standalone entity.
Yeah.
Just because he's fun and he's got it.
He does.
Why WWE didn't see anything in him? He's got a great look, great wrestler, great promo. It's no idea. Can't put the pieces together. Really can't.
No. He's just, yeah. And like, he has that, like he leans into so much pop culture stuff too, whether it's horror or like, dark action. Like I was saying to you, like he does the Hitman, the video game vibe a lot of the times. He pulls from outside aspects of wrestling, and that's what wrestling's about, is pulling from outside aspects. Like look at Dusty Rhodes doing Muhammad Ali and all that kind of thing, and then Muhammad Ali pulling from wrestling. So it's people taken from one another. It's just and Karrion Kross embraces that, and it'll be cool to see him right back in the thick of the action wherever he goes, because he's one of my favorite modern guys today. So.
He's one of the guys that if I was Tony Khan, I would be looking at for sure.
Absolutely.
That being said, as we discussed, I think that if you're going to do that, where every time a great talent is on the market, you want to sign them, which is fine. You got to make up for it somehow. So like, I'm not saying do like mass roster cuts like WWE does, but take a look at the roster and just be like, okay, like how can I shift these people? Like how can I make the best use of what I have while also bringing in somebody new? Exactly.
Yes. Exactly. Because it's just, you have 3 hours of main television, and you have your YouTube stuff, but it's like your main television product. You have to convey a story and make it make sense to just a viewer that's tuning in. So, Marcus, is there Keith Lee's another name? Obviously, I would be really keeping a look on to and wanting to factor into the product. Is there another name that stands out to you that was released that you would like to see in the mix there?
Nia Jax.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you want to give any particular reason to that? Because I mean, the polarizing aspect to her is that she's not a good worker.
Right.
She
dangerous.
Hurts people, dangerous. But like name cachet is there. It is there.
It's the name and it's the possibility that she carries because of her look and her style. Imagine her coming in to feud with Jade Cargill. Imagine her coming in to feud with Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
It would be fun. Ember Moon, Nesha just mentioned, she'd be a blast.
Wouldn't she? She'd be really good.
Absolutely. Really good. Dominic, let's talk Davey Boy Smith Jr. though.
Yes. So he didn't even get a shot in his second run. That what the plan was for him, according to Meltzer, was they were going to use him in NXT UK, but obviously with the pandemic, can't really do that. Can't ship him over. But why wouldn't you fucking use him on WWE television? He's certainly honed his skills since he was last in WWE. Not only from an in-ring perspective where he broadened his horizons there, but from a mic perspective too. Seeing him in Major League Wrestling and cut promos and stuff like that, he delivered a very good babyface promo. So very disappointing to see him just not be utilized at all there. But I'm on cloud nine that for the opportunity that he can be, whether he returns back to Major League Wrestling or he goes to somewhere like AEW where his old partner Lance Archer is there, the Killer Elite Squad. You get that, you package those two together, that's a viable, kick-ass, badass tag team that you can really cultivate a cachet with the feud with your other top tag teams that you have there. Marcus, give me your thoughts on Davey Boy Smith and what you'd like to see from him come forward. I have one more point to make about him.
I love Davey Boy Smith Jr. and I have always seen the potential in him. And the storyline that I've always been attracted to is the idea that so Cody came in to AEW and he was like, okay, I'm like, there's more than one family in wrestling. Right. And that was like a big thing that he leaned on, and referring to, of course, the McMahons. Sure. And he's saying like, hey, the Rhodes are also like a force in wrestling, and he talks about his legacy, talks about his father, his lineage a lot. It's a big part of who he is. The thing is, though, that there's other wrestlers that probably feel the same way, and Davey Boy Smith could be one. You want to talk about a lineage? He's part of the Hart family. He's part of you can lump him in with Davey Boy Smith, Dynamite Kid. There's so much history in his neck of the woods that I think it would be fun to have him come in, and just be like, hey, look, there is more than one royal family in wrestling, and you're looking at the top one, and I always love the idea of who else has that claim is Joe Hennig. Joe Hennig can make that claim. I always love the idea of a stable of second generation people coming in and banding together against Cody and the Nightmare Factory.
See, that'd be cool. You could call them Legacy, right, Marcus?
That was already a thing.
I know.
In WWE. Oh, so you're just giving me shit?
I'm giving you shit.
I don't know about calling them Legacy.
Well, yeah, no. Something else that somebody mentioned, but was imagine him winning the Owen Hart Memorial Cup when that comes up.
That would be incredible.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
It would be like poetic justice. Yeah, I would love to see it. I would love to see it.
I know. Well, okay. You have to pick, let's say, 3 stars that were cut. 3 stars that were cut. Who are you taking? Who are the 3?
Definitely Karrion Kross. Definitely Davey Boy Smith Jr. And I'm on the fence between Ember Moon and Nia Jax, but I gotta lean toward Nia Jax.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
What about you?
So Karrion Kross, obviously. I would package him with Scarlett if that's all right.
That's
Is that questionable?
No, that's fine.
Okay. And then Davey Boy Smith. Keith Lee. There you go. There it is.
All right.
All right. How you feel about that?
I mean, I don't think you can go wrong.
Nesha, I'm with you too. I'd go. I'm Nia Jax. I wouldn't even really consider, to be honest. I like her look. She's got a presence. She's got name cachet. I would have went with Ember Moon too. Marcus is an idiot. So.
Hey, that's unnecessary.
Oh.
It doesn't matter.
So,
all right,
let's carry on. We got a few more things to cover, and you only have so much time. So, what's important here?
What is important here?
Marcus, let's talk about. Yes, I really like this segment. Dan Lambert can get some heat, brother. He can get some mad heat, and I am intrigued by this Minneapolis street fight that's incorporating Junior Dos Santos, Andre Orlovsky, and even Paige Van Zant kind of just mixing it up in there was really, really good. I like this segment, Marcus, and I think it really leaned into what is great about Chris Jericho, and it was a nostalgia scratch of him like in his 2000s, where he's ripping on Stephanie and stuff like that. I know you weren't very much sold on it the last time we talked. How about now? Has anything changed in your perspective now since Dynamite aired?
Good promo. Yeah, man, you're right. It was like a old school flavor of Jericho, and like, yep, that's cool. It's awesome. I'm just not invested in the storyline.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's hard for me to put my finger on it because it's like it is a good promo. Dan Lambert is good at talking shit, but
and that crowd chanting "Shut the fuck up." That's like it was so loud.
It was. I guess like I don't know. Like the team, like Paige Van Zant got some mic time, and she came out of it looking great. I would say that her stock is way up following that. But it's like you've got this team behind him, Lambert, and it's like okay, I know some of these people. I don't know most of them, and it makes it harder for me to really care about it. Like so, if I don't know, name one of the guys on American Top Team.
Junior Dos Santos.
So Junior Dos Santos, if you give him some vignettes or whatever, mix those into the program as well. Introduce me to him a little bit, then fine. But it's like, I don't know, I've heard his name. I know he's an MMA. It's all I got on him. He doesn't talk much.
It's a fair point, because if you're not a wrestling fan, if you're not an MMA fan or a follower of it, like I'm a fringe guy, so I knew of Andre Orlovsky, I knew of Paige Van Zant, I knew of Junior Dos Santos before, but like I don't know the other two guys, and like it's a fair point. Like you need to, if those fans aren't aware of it, you should kind of do something to make them aware who these guys are and what they're capable of, and what they've done in the octagon before, because there's. You can have legs there. And I think Junior Dos Santos is great in the ring. Like, I think he did a very good job for his triple tag match. He loves being in there, and that's what you want to see from a guy that's coming out of there nowhere. So,
yeah, introduce me to him a little bit. I know he's got the name cachet, which is great, but like, if you told me like, hey, there's only so much room on this roster, would you rather have Junior Dos Santos or Karrion Kross? I don't think I'd let you finish the sentence. It's Karrion Kross.
Like in the long, yeah, because like he's got long-term capability. Both.
And I'm familiar with him.
It's immediate with Killer Kross. He knows what he's doing. He's a presence. He's everything like that. So it's like you automatically, obviously, like you got to pick one or the other. You're going Killer Kross, but it's like, it's like they should. It's a good point that you got to just introduce these people more so, and if they're just fringe guys hanging out, you're just like, okay, who are these guys? What is exactly their deal? Like, tell me more of what Andre Orlovsky's background is. Like,
and I think that's why I'm not really invested. Is like okay, like they're MMA guys and they're feuding with Jericho. Good promo. That's all I got. That's all I got on it.
Yep.
And they hate each other for what appears to be no reason. And I don't know. I'm not super into it. I'm not saying I hate it by any means, but like it's just like not crazy invested.
All right, let's see how invested you are in the Cody Rhodes saga going up against Andrade. Malachi Black getting in the mix, making a reference of Julius Caesar, and hey, like he wasn't the only person to turn on Julius. And then sure enough, FTR gets in the mix. They've been paid off by or MJF gets paid off by Andrade to use them for a couple of weeks. And just all that kind of development. How do you think the execution of all this been? And then ultimately it looking like it being Cody and Pac tagging up against Andrade and Malachi Black. Do you like it? What do you want to see happen with this?
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought the moment between Arn and Tully at the end was a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
So that was super entertaining. But no, I like it. The idea of Cody is not a lot of people are big fans of Cody anymore, but I really like Cody still, and I still think he's one of the best wrestlers in the world. But some of the other best wrestlers in the world are FTR. So the idea of getting him involved in a program there is like, hell yes, yeah. I'm picturing Cody and Dustin versus FTR, which sounds like a really good time to me.
Doesn't that? I'm surprised. Like, you know what? That's a really good point. Like, I mean, to have them kind of mix it up with FTR would be a really fun program.
That's for me. That would be like, not only am I going to make sure I'm sitting down to watch this live, I might be recording it even though I'm watching it, so I can watch it again later.
I know, right? No, it's a good point. I did like. I do. Yeah, I'm with you though. like I said too a couple weeks ago. I like Cody a lot, and whatever direction they go with, I think it'll still work out. Like you think about Cena being a baby face and like them not turning Cena heel and stuff like that. I'm thinking, they can weather that storm of these boos and stuff like that and make it work where it's just like it's not contradictory to the product ultimately in the long grand scheme of things. If they stay the course.
I think the whole thing is like cyclical. I think that Cody's going to be just fine.
He got popped for doing the flip flop fly.
Yeah, which was tremendous, by the way.
Right. Very good stuff. Okay, let's move on. We're gonna cover a lot of the Full Gear stuff before the show airs this week. So we'll this can obviously be a truncated episode or whatever how you say that. Okay, real quick. Super Click Concerto, Marcus. The whole Christian came back. They attacked, the Young Bucks. They attacked Adam Cole, baby. And how do you like that developing? Is there some intrigue for you there? Is it kind of just like, okay, it's just going to be part of the show and that's how it goes? And, I want to see further things with Adam Cole and where things go. Where's your mindset on all this?
Christian Cage's affiliation with Jurassic Express is kind of a head scratcher for me still. I know that they've established it now for a few weeks, but in the first place, I'm just like, why? Like, how come though?
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it speaks to the problem that AEW is experiencing with talent overage, where they're like, okay, we've got these people and they're all great. We really want to feature them. So how do we feature all these people in one time slot? So they're like, put them together, Mm-hmm. So it's like that's why there's so many factions in AEW, by the way. So I don't like the fact that it was just, I was enjoying Christian Cage as like this solo entity just kind of working his way toward a title shot. And so it's a departure from that, which I'm not crazy about. Now that being said, the idea of Christian Cage in the same ring as Adam Cole sounds like a really good time to me.
Yeah.
So it's, a little column A, a little column B.
Yeah. I was like, just you talking about it and like even mentioning how it's like, it's just kind of a weird alliance with Christian and Jurassic Express. I mean, it makes sense from the aspect that Christian kind of became a mentor to Jungle Boy, but I'm kind of with you where it's just like, okay, it makes sense. They told us why they're together, but it doesn't feel like a fit, And
Nope.
I feel like this could be a very good opportunity to really give this story even more legs. Say if the Super Click were the reason that Jurassic Express broke up, or they ended the alliance of Jurassic Express altogether, and you really put Jungle Boy into a more solo babyface situation where you're seeing his trajectory take more of a course of being a top guy, and then you can still have Christian still in that mix. But I think this is a good opportunity to kind of give you a reason to break up Jurassic Express, because honestly, I think it's a team that's kind of ran its course.
I don't see it happening just because of what I said. There's only so much time on the program. If you turn Christian Cage and Jungle Boy into singles wrestlers, all of a sudden it's like, okay, so something's got to get bumped.
Yeah. The card. It's true. It is true.
Yeah.
But I mean, Marcus, that goes to your point too of like, hey, you wanted to see a new direction for Luchasaurus. make a new faction with Abaddon and that whole motley crew of misfits that you were talking about. Where you get,
I wouldn't hate it if it was Abaddon, Bray Wyatt, and revamped creepy Luchasaurus.
Wouldn't be bad, man. Wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't hate it. I think they could make something happen with it, for sure. Yes.
Dom, I've got 3 minutes.
3 whole minutes. Okay. Anything else that you want to touch upon? That's anything with MJF? Well, did you see him hate on his parents?
Yes. Yeah, that was good stuff.
Wild stuff. It's very. I can tell from a perspective of seeing his mom talk and everything, why he is so good at what he does, and like why you can tell that they're a very good family too. Like out of character, you can tell. Yeah,
a lot of support
going on there. So that's cool to see. Yes, I'm a big fan of all that, and having his parents lean into all that stuff too is really refreshing. So,
yeah, it's been fun, man. MJF is a blast to watch.
He's a blast. Marcus, next week, we'll let you go with this. Pac versus Dax, man.
That's going to be a barn burner. And Dax has got to go over, but it's going to be quite a match. You know how I feel about both guys. They're both great.
Both great. And Mark, that's going to be, I think, a show you record to watch over again.
Probably should. Probably should
do it. All right, we'll get you out with this, Mark. You ad-free shows. What's going on over there, huh? Son of a bitch.
Oh man. Dom JBL was just on a live show over there for the Top Guy members, which was a absolute blast. You know, the guys, I know he got a rep among the smart fans online of being like a bully, but he's such a smart guy. And getting to look at those videos and clip them and stuff has been a lot of fun for me, just because it's like he's just, great insight, great experience, a guy who's been, in the scene since the main scene since probably 95, somewhere in there.
96, 97.
Yeah, 90, somewhere in there. But so that was really cool. And it's a new special guest every month for the Top Guys, Dom, where, last month it was Renee Paquette. We got JBL, and every single month it's like some huge star is doing a run-in to have exclusive conversations with these people. So, if you're not, I'm not saying join the top tier level, which is Top Guys. I'm not saying you do that. Obviously, if you can afford to, you should, because it's such a cool thing to be involved in. But you can also join at $9 a month. That's 30 cents a day to get involved over at ad-free shows and get all this exclusive early and ad-free content. I'm telling you, man, it makes a big, big difference. There's so much there.
You have a good time doing all this too.
Dude, it's been a blast, honestly. Like it's like a dream job. You know how I feel. I love pro wrestling, and now it's like my job is to go through pro wrestling information all day.
And it's like a history lesson, all the stuff you're going through.
No doubt about it. So yeah, it's been awesome, and strongly recommend it to everybody. Jump on over to adfreeshows.com and join in on the fun, because there's a lot to be had over there. And with that, Dominic, I bid you adieu.
Oh, well, let me just close out then real quick.
No, I thought you were going to stay on and plug more of your shit.
Oh, well, I'm going to plug it real quick. You're just going to...
All right, go ahead.
So, you can follow me on Twitter at Dominic DeAngelo. Also, I have a new show going on 2 weeks in on the MLW Fusion Fight Report. If you want to get acclimated and in tune with all things Major League Wrestling, it drops every Thursday or Friday of the week. And I give you the right recap of what happened on Fusion and what's going on in Major League Wrestling. And there's a lot going on in Major League Wrestling. Just this past week, they had the War Chamber event in Philadelphia. Usually I'm at those shows. I couldn't make it this time around. But I didn't even spoil it for myself, so I don't even know what to tell you about it. But a lot of cool stuff happening there. As far as interviews go, I wish I had a list off the top of my head. I know Bill recently interviewed Booker T. That could have been a while ago. But there's a lot of good stuff on WrestleZone.com that you should check out as well. We're talking about ROH. Colin Tessier just did a recap of the latest ROH television show. Obviously, that's in its swan song with Final Battle coming up. And it's going to be interesting to see where ROH lands in the wrestling landscape moving forward after that all ends up. Nesha, you can check out Major League Wrestling on YouTube Free. It's on free. Like, you just go to your YouTube, type in Major League Wrestling on YouTube. Don't type in MLW. You'll find it on YouTube. All that stuff's free. You just go and tune in. And then, just the podcast. My show is on YouTube too, and so is it on the podcast feed. So check those out. All the best to Danhausen and Mance Warner, who got injured at Halloween. If you can, Danhausen has a GoFundMe. Go ahead, and Mance Warner has a T-shirt that you can purchase to help both those guys out.
I think Danhausen met and exceeded his goal already. Yeah.
I bet man, he's popular, dude, and so good for him. He would be very entertaining to have in AEW, by the way. He would be very entertaining.
It's a creative genius.
Yes, very creative. I love how he calls Billy Gunn Billy Ass and the Ass Boys.
I don't think I heard that.
He calls him Billy Ass and the Ass Boys. And he calls Chris Jericho Chris Judas. Real good stuff.
Yeah, great stuff.
Real good stuff. All right, guys. Yeah, Nesha, check out MLW. Let me know what you think about it, because and look at the latest episode. You'll see somebody familiar in the background.
Yeah, well, he's not in the first row, which was the impression that he gave me.
I didn't give you that. Did I give you that?
That was what I thought. You're like, oh man, you can really see me on there. So I'm like, all right, where the fuck is he? So and then here you're.
It's like a Where's Wallace sighting. That's what it is.
And it's like your fucking shirt. I know it. I can't tell it's you.
How dare you?
Yeah, so good luck trying to fucking find Dominic in there, Nesha.
I'm there. I'm in Philadelphia at that point in time. You'll see me. Yep, that's it. All right, guys. Hey, next time I will make sure to leave my computer volume on. How's that sound?
Yeah. Oh, great idea, Dominic. A unique idea.
Get ready for the full gear preview with full sound. All right, guys. Hey, we'll see you later this week, okay?
All right, see you guys.
You Dynamite dudes on a Rampage.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.